Hello everyone, this is Colette98 back with more Minecraft, and I am here today looking at my redstone monster spawner. It actually hasn't changed ever since you guys saw it in the other video, but I've been working on some other project and I'm not really planning. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. But today, I'm going to be giving you guys a redstone tutorial on redstone on Minecraft. So, first I left some blocks down, putting on what I need to go over, because I tend to forget things in my previous redstone tutorial recordings. So this one is redstone dust. Redstone dust is these things. And each redstone dust has two states, which can be powered by many different inputs and outputs. You can either turn it on, which it looks like that when it's on. You can have it off. And redstone cannot go any longer than 15 blocks. Okay, so if we power this here, you'll see that the power does not go any farther than 15 blocks. This is the last block of power, and then it stops. And redstone dust is basically the main wiring. It can cross, but it cannot ever connect diagonally. And that's redstone. That's redstone dust. A redstone torch is a torch that is always on when there's no power to it. And as you can see, when anything is connected to it, it's considered as powered. This is because the redstone torch is always on regardless if there's... Well, no, the redstone torch is on when there's no power to it. But if we switch things up... like placing a block, and then a torch on top of it, and then some redstone, and then hook it up to a plate, you'll see that the light turns off. That means when power is applied to a block, which in turn the block powers the redstone torch, that will turn the redstone torch off. And when someone steps off this pressure plate here, the torch turns back on. A button is one of the many very different inputs of redstone. What a button does is when it's pushed, it stays open for about a second, and then it closes again. So I'm going to show you a demonstration using iron doors. As you can see, it stayed open for a few seconds and then closed again. And note that an iron door cannot be punched open, if you guys haven't noted that yet. So what happens is that when the button is pushed, the redstone is powered for a split second to open the door for that split second. A lever is another input, and basically it's basically just similar to a button when you right click it, except the power is actually toggleable. As long as this lever is powered, so will the redstone line, which will leave the door open. Once this is flipped, this will be closed. A lever can also be planted on the ground just like this. But a button cannot. You have to place a button on a block. The next thing we're going to go over is powered blocks, because people tend to use this a lot, and many people get confused about it. So I'm going to try my very best to somehow explain how this works. Now I'm going to just give myself some more iron doors, and what happens is, so we're going to have a lever, which is going to be hooked up to this block here, and we're going to have a door behind it. As you can see, that still works, and many people get confused about it. Well, what happens is that it always happens. So when this lever is flipped, this redstone gets triggered, and in turn, this whole block gets powered. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, well, this block provides power to to anywhere around it. Powered areas include the bottom, the sides, the top, and this side, and the side the door is on. So, which is why the door gets powered when you flip a switch, which is perfect if you want to conceal your redstone behind a wall. It'll be just fine for that, and you just turn off the ring. And there you go. That is powered blocks. Now we're going to go back to our inputs. Over here we have a stone pressure plate, and what it does, what a stone pressure plate is when it's stepped on, it turns on. Something, when a mob or player steps on it, it flips on. And many people hook these up to their own house, so when they step on it, the door automatically opens, but not to the outside because you don't want the door to automatically open on a creeper. But on the inside, you don't even need to left click, you just sort of step on the pressure plate and the door opens. Next thing is a wood pressure plate, and it's basically the same thing as a stone pressure plate, but this time there's a new little trigger thing to it. So we're gonna do the same little wiring, and as you can see, the same usual. It's just when someone steps on it, it goes off. But another thing is that if you drop any sort of item on it, it also triggers. And this is how many people make complex notification things and whatnot by using wood pressure plates and having something related to an item dropping on them triggering a light or some sort. The next thing is redstone repeaters. And about redstone repeaters is that even though, let's go back over here, even though your line is 15 blocks long, this should do the trick. So when this is triggered, it stops right here. If you break the block that's in front of your redstone and place a repeater, the repeater powers up to a whole new power source like a redstone torch, and then you're allowed to continue for another 15 blocks until there's no power, and then again you get to place your redstone repeater, and this will make redstone go on and on and on and on, as you can see here. Thing is about these repeaters is that they can actually set delays on what you can actually set delays to them. So this is a normal repeater delay. I don't know if but as you can see, the power doesn't transfer right away, but that's what a repeater does, is that it sets delays. As seen here, the repeater has delays, and in return, yeah, it just has delays. Now let's say we need a longer delay to open a door or something. Here, I'll hook this up to a door so you guys can see this better. Okay. See, when you flip the lever, the door doesn't automatically open. It takes a little time to close and open. Not a lot, but it takes a little bit. Now if we set these all, if we right click a repeater, you realize that the torch at the back moves, and that sets its levels of delay. This is like a level 2 delay. Oh. See, as you can see, the door takes a longer time to open and close. As you can see there. Now we're gonna turn it off, and we're gonna flip these. So as you can see, again, it takes a longer time, even before, to actually open and close this door. And if we do that just one more time to the maximum level, which is all at the edge, this is a level 4 delay with 2 repeaters, not just one, but with 2 repeaters. It takes quite a bit of time to open that door. Another useful thing for repeaters, so they basically, we went over 2 uses. They make your redstone lines longer and able to go in farther distance, and they also have delay for people who want delay for their redstone creations. Now another thing that's useful for repeaters is that they send power one way and one way only. So as you can see here, if we try to play a redstone line next to this redstone line, it won't work because they would connect. But if we use, we have a lever here that's hooked up to a repeater. Nope, wait. We have a lever. Wait. So let's say we have a lever right here, and we have a bunch of repeaters. As you can see, they don't intercept. Now we can have our own thing. That's just that's just a regular light. So now we can have our own. Now you can have 2 redstone lights next to each other, but in return there will be a really large amount of delay. And there you go. But then again, if you guys remember, I was testing you guys on this. If you guys remember, this is a powered block. So this is why this redstone line is powered, which is why in return this will never turn off. Oh, just kidding. You just flip the switch and it goes off. So those are 3 uses of redstone repeaters. They expand your redstone line beyond 15 blocks. They set delays for any people who want that delay in their creation. And they send signal one way, so you don't need to worry about redstone intercepting when they're with them. You just need to be aware of powered blocks and all that whatnots. So if we go along here, we went over redstone repeaters. Now we need to go and talk about gates. Let's talk about glass first. Glass is what many people use for redstone. Let's say, so many people, they usually hide their redstone. What they do here is that they set some sort of trigger, and then they have their normal redstone going down, and down, and down. Now they want to cover this, but if you use a normal block, and we go back down again, you see the signal gets cut off, which this is actually useful sometimes, but in this case it isn't. And you really need a block there so you can walk over it and all that nonsense. And what many people use in return, even though sometimes it looks terrible, they just sort of work their way around it, is glass. Now it may look like that the redstone line is not being powered, but if you flip the switch, it actually is, and glass cannot be a powered block. So as you can see here, the redstone actually, yes, it will go through the glass, which does help many people, and that's how many people use their glass in redstone, is just by doing that. So let's talk about gates. Gates are a specific set of blocks. When laid out, it provides a specific semi-complex action for you. It's really hard to explain actual gates by just simply talking, so I'm gonna just show you guys a few gates that I actually use in most of my creations, and you guys just tell, and then other gates are more complicated. If you're interested in more like tutorials, you can look up other people, but I'm just gonna simply show gates that I use. So over here we have a NOT gate, and what a NOT gate is a gate that inverts the power. This is what people used back in the day when there was no repeaters yet and they needed to expand their redstone line. But I'm not going to go that far out yet. So as you guys, many people know, you need this redstone torch to be off for an alarm system. And many people hook up a simple alarm system to a pressure plate and a light. And it's just weird. A light is on when someone's not there. That's like having a fire alarm that's constantly going off when there's no fire, and then when there's a fire, it suddenly turns off. But we want to switch that. We want to make it so it's off, and then when it's stepped on, it'll be on. What you gotta do is take out 2 blocks of your redstone, place a block, and place a torch. As you can see now, the default state of that redstone torch there is off. So when this pressure plate is stepped on, it turns on. So that's your NOT gate. Other people call it inverters. Your AND gate is a very useful one. So what you gotta do is lay down 3 blocks, just simple as that, and have redstone torches, like this, a redstone piece in the middle, and a redstone torch. Once this is on, you sort of wire this up to a output, which is going to be this door here, and there you go. And then place your triggers. You can either hook them up, you can either wire them up like this, just have them wired up to a lever like this, or you can have them directly on the thing, but many people wire them up because that suits their purposes of why they're gonna make this. So, but for this demonstration, I'm gonna have them directly on it. Now, what the AND gate does is that when you flip a switch to one of them, it doesn't turn off. The torch does turn off, but this redstone line doesn't, but that's because this torch is. So when this switch is flipped, it doesn't turn off. It doesn't open this door. Where if you flip the other one, it does the same exact thing. The redstone line is still powered and it doesn't hit the door. But if you hit both switches, the redstone line finally turns off, turning this torch on, triggering the door to open. Now many people, when they first saw this, they weren't satisfied with the amount of inputs it can put in an AND gate. Which is why this has its own uses. If you really need 3 outputs, which I've seen requested many times, what you need to do is hook up one of these to another AND gate. What you need to do is hook up one of these to another AND gate. So as you can see, this output will be hooked up to one of the AND gate inputs. So when adding another AND gate, you're adding another 1 trigger, and then right here you can have your own lever and hooked up to this, which will be messed around and open this door at the very end here. Hi, Piggy. So now we have 3 outputs we need to press. Pressing 2 will open one door, pressing 3 will open the other, pressing 1 will not open neither. So if we flip both of these switches here, as you can see, what happened is that this door opened, and then when this split, it opened this one, which turns this redstone torch off. Now if we flip this one here, that door opens up. So basically, in this AND gate setup, you need 3 levers flipped in order to open the door. And you just keep hooking these up to AND gates until you're satisfied with the amount of inputs you need to flip. Or press, or whatever. An RS NOR latch. It sounds really complicated. You probably have no idea what that means. And I understand. When I first heard about it, I was like, what? Huh? But it's completely normal. Many people get confused about it. An RS NOR latch is a 1 single cell memory cell, and which is useful for many people who have stocking pigs. No, I'm just kidding. It's useful for many people who like having just things open when pressing one thing and then having another thing open when pressing the other. So what you need is to have a 3x3 square, and then in the opposite corners set blocks and redstone torches sort of like this, and then hook up each redstone like this. And as you can see here, I will have buttons here because buttons are very useful for this kind of method. So with these buttons here, when everyone knows that when you in order to turn off a torch, you need to provide power to it. So let's say we flip this, and then now, as you can see, it has this. Now this is being turned off by this side having power to this side, and if we flip this one, it sort of switches, and if we keep doing that, as you can see, it just keeps switching. But let's say that we want to hook up some outputs. So let's just say that we have two lights. One indicates being safe or something, and the other one, I don't know. Let's just do doors. That'll be simpler because I'm like that. So we'll have one door right here, and you could always put this up into different output this direction, but this is useful. So you have a button outside, and pretend this is your button outside. You have a button outside, and you want to flip the switch. Once you press the button, the door stays open until you hit the indoor button in order to lock the door. No monsters can come in whatsoever unless you hooked up a pressure plate to the door. But that's an RS NOR latch. And now I'm going to discuss any other things I left out, and which I solely do remember in my mind. I completely forgot to talk about all the possible redstone outputs. I already talked about all the inputs, I don't know how to, and then I didn't even talk about the redstone outputs, so I'm going to do that separately over here. The redstone outputs are many things, and as some people know, I love playing with redstone, but I have no idea what to use on redstone. Like, what to build on redstone, because all my friends abandoned me on Minecraft. No. Well, yeah. So, as many people know, Kyer Shar, you can actually build, TNT is one of the outputs. So if you hook this up to a cannon here, just give me a split second. Perfect. Oh wait, no, not perfect. I failed. Ha ha ha, yes, I failed. Okay. So, as everyone knows Kyer Star, I'm pretty sure everyone knows Kyer Star. I don't know if you guys do, but I'm pretty sure you know Kyer Star because you're watching me. So, what happens is that when this button is pushed, redstone lines will trigger, and the shell right here will be pushed when pressing a different, I'm not even gonna bother. Going to have repeaters for this next demonstration I'm about to show you guys. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Have this one here, this one, and this one, and there you go, it's set. And everyone place a safety rail here. This is just to make sure TNT falls in. And we're gonna place TNT here. And we're gonna load the cannon. And when we're gonna set the repeater delay. There we go. And when we push this button, the cannon goes into action here. As you can see, when pressing the button, the TNT is lit. And there you go, the TNT is lit. Crap. This crap always happens to me. It always works. It works on the perfect It doesn't work on the perfect timing ever. Okay. Put that there. Hook this up this way. Back around. There you go. Alright. I'm pretty sure you guys are pissed off because you're excited to see this. So, hopefully this works this time. As you can see, the shell launches away. If you guys are interested in where that landed, there you go. It's pretty far distance, I must say. I've seen farther. So, TNT is one of the mini outputs. I know, I'm making a huge mess on this world that I'm probably going to remove later in time. But sometimes I just leave my stuff there. I'll leave my crap here. Because this is just a testing world, and I'm not in the mood to remove any tests. Alright, another thing, as you guys have many seen already, is doors, and doors can be powered in any specific way. You just gotta have the pressure plates. As you can see, stepping on this will open the door. Stepping on this will open the door. There you go. If I sound really crappy, it's because I just woke up, like, I don't know, a few minutes ago. Another output, redstone torch itself, I already went over that. Another output includes rails, like here, and another input actually. Here. So, when you power a minecart, so placing the lever at specific spots will trigger, as you can see here, it turns the track in different directions, and as you can see here, it turns this power line on and off. Which we're not going to go over that just yet. If you guys really want me to, please like, rate, and subscribe, and I'll go over that in a different video. Overall, this is the end of my Minecraft tutorial of Redstone. This is Skeletz98 logging off, and I hope you please comment, rate, like, and subscribe, and I'll be back with you guys some other time.